Good evening, all of you. I welcome you all at AMA today for this wonderful session on asset allocation and sustainable growth for an individual's financials. Uh, Asset allocation is really a prime and important topic for an individual investor. For his, it not only balances his investment across the asset classes, but it also helps in mitigating risk in his exposure. Sometimes it is felt that asset allocation is not given due importance or a structured approach it should have been by investors, and more so of it when an investor is like, all the decisions sometimes we take considering the trend of the market, considering the suggestions or feedback from our friends, relatives and all. If we have a structured approach towards asset allocation, then we can really make different kind of returns from our overall exposure. Asset allocation is also important when we are flooded with different asset classes and investment opportunities and options. Today we have investment opportunity across equities, realties, commodities, real estate, mutual funds, and ETFs across commodities. Yeah, India we have less options, but still, lot of things, insurance. So it is a very important topic today. To discuss this topic, today we have amongst us Mr. Kushal Shah. Kushal Shah is fourth generation entrepreneur. He is director at Ratnakar Securities. He has done his graduation from Christ College, Bangalore, and cleared CFA from USA, 2 levels. He heads wealth management vertical at his organization, and he just recently shared that how we can take a professional for our investment. It should be just like doctor and architect આપણે આપણા ઘર માટે કે health માટે લેતા હોઈએ છે. That is his approach. He is also a board member at Bombay Stock Exchange. I welcome Kushal Shah. Today we also have amongst us Mr. Ashish Goyal. Mr. Ashish is Vice President Business Development at NSE India. He has a vast experience of more than 25 years across the subjects of exchange operations, capital markets, regulatory compliances, strategic planning, finance, audit. He was earlier whole-time director at Madhya Pradesh Stock Exchange. Ashish Bhai is a chartered accountant academically, passed in 1992. I welcome Ashish Bhai on the dais. I'll request Ashish Bhai to please share some words.
Very good evening. It's a pleasure to see so many investors coming for this program which NSE is organizing on a very regular basis with Ahmedabad Management Association. Today we are privileged to have one of our members from Ratnakar Securities Limited, Kushal Shah. He brings a lot of wisdom, experience and knowledge for all of us to gain from his experience and wisdom. These programs are essentially taken on certain subjects which we find will resonate with the investors community, but at the same time we are open to any of the programs where you want to listen, or if you want a particular speaker we can even try for that. I won't take much of the time. But how many of you feel that health is prime importance even before wealth? Yeah, most of you feel. So today I am going to take with you the 7 golden rules which will make you healthy and wealthy. So मेरे पास ऐसा promise है खुशाल आज कि आप healthy भी रहेंगे और wealthy भी बन सकते हैं. So these 7 rules are something like that. Just a second. So let's see healthy and wealthy. Early start. So the first rule of health is you should start your day early in the morning. Okay? Unless you start early, you won't get that surplus time. The amount of energy, the amount of clarity you have in the morning hours is quite incremental. So for your mental health, you should get up early in the morning. For your physical health, you should exercise. So early rising is a wisdom for the health which everybody follows. In the same way, in the investment journey also, if you start early, am I clear on this? Last time I spoke about 15-15-15 formula. If you start early, say at the age of 18 or 20 or 25, you have a higher risk appetite, and the compounding effect of 15,000 multiplying over 15 years with 15% CAGR will make you a crorepati in the longer run. So your capacity is higher in terms of taking the call, and just a second, is it okay? And it will take you a step ahead of others. So start your investment journey as early as possible in your life. Balanced diet. We all know the importance of balanced diet in health, Kushal. It's very important. Right vitamins, minerals, protein, nutrients are very important. We all agree to this? So in the same way, the balanced diet works for you. Here we have today the asset allocation. Okay? It can be in the form of stock, it can be in the form of bonds, it can be in the form of real estate, it can be in the form of deposit. As important is balanced diet for your health, in the same way, the topic for the day today is allocation, okay? Asset allocation. So this is quite important. It will give you a lot of things to talk about in terms of goals, in terms of risk, in terms of tolerance, in terms of investment horizon. So right body weight, right energy promotes feeling of well-being. In the same way, allocating your investments in multiple asset class will help you to generate wealth. Be regular. Regular exercises are necessary. Everybody agrees to this? For physical and mental health. It reduces risk of heart disease. Everybody knows about it. It reduces chances of cancer, blood pressure, diabetes. And it delays the entire process of ill health. So exercising is regularly. In the same way, investing regularly is very important. As I have mentioned here, the systematic investment plan is very important. You get to invest at multiple levels in the market. The amount of greed, the fear automatically get absolved, and over a period of time you will see incremental things happening to you for a systematic investment plan. Regular and disciplined investment will ensure that you are on a wealth creation journey. Okay, this was my third health wisdom, which is equally good for investments. Expert advice. So nowadays, the moment you get cold, you have to go to the doctor. Am I clear? Special heart diseases cannot be treated without help of cardiologist. Our beloved uncle, who is an insurance agent, might be very good in insurance, but will he be good in advising you on equity? Probably no. Okay? Our CA has lot of knowledge on audit and taxation, but he may not be an expert, Kushal, on the wealth part. So like in health, you approach a doctor for a specialized disease like you can approach an ENT, ophthalmologist, cardiologist, everywhere it is like that. In the financial market also there are a lot of experts. So They will customize based on your need, your attitude, your lifestyle, your risk profile, your financial situation. So you need to have an expert. So this was my fourth wisdom on health, where you need an expert for your diseases. In the same way, you should look for wealth managers and registered advisors. This was my fourth wisdom. Patience, okay? Unplanned life lead to lot of tension. You all agree with this? Unplanned life? So anger leads to muscle tense, digestive process malfunction. You need to have a very calm and composed life in order to lead a healthy life. Here also, if you have asset diversification, things can work magnificently for you. Patience is more important in terms of your long-term investments. The Warren Buffett said it very well. The stock market is a device for transforming money from impatient to the, okay? So just like patience is important for your health, in the same way, your investment journey can be very important through patience. The next is protection. How many of you took COVID vaccine? Everybody took COVID vaccine to guard you from inflation. Eating healthy food, exercising, regular checkup. This leads to good health. Insurance of Mediclaim is very critical. Insurance of life is very critical for your overall health. In the same way, if we go to the stock market, again Warren Buffett has said, insure your best bet against uncertainties. So adequate insurance can come in the form of financial planning, asset allocation, systematic investment plan. One should not forget the insurance perspective in your financial market also. This was my sixth wisdom. I spoke about 7. The last one is periodic review. So many of us might be going for regular health checkups. Many of you? So chances of treatment and cure are better if the disease is diagnosed at an early stage. In the same way, in the financial market, as Warren Buffett said, when you do your periodic financial review, keep in mind the most important variable in this situation, that is you yourself. Am I clear on this? So just like you keep a regular health checkup, you should go for periodic review of your portfolio through a wealth expert. Things change very dramatically in terms of multiple news flows, multiple situations, but a periodic review of your health for your investments is of prime importance. So these are my 7 deliverables which will translate in terms of your wealth and health. The first one is early start, same for wealth, same for health. Balanced approach, same for minerals, vitamins. As a part of your diet, here also asset allocation is very important. Regular and long-term investment, regular investing is very important, which can be in the form of SIP. Expert advice can be in the form of a doctor for treating you, for cardiologist. At the same time, here the wealth managers who can guide you on your investment journey. Patience is very important. If you have invested for longer term, please be patient with your portfolio. In the same way, patience is very important in health. Insurance is very important, can be in the form of Mediclaim. Here also insurance can be in the form of asset allocation, long-term investment and SIP. And periodic review as important is health at the same time. Here in the form of health, in the form of regular health checkup, here you will have in the form of periodic review of your portfolio. This is all I have to say. I'm thankful again for all of you, all the investors who have come here for this particular program. We look forward to many such programs. My team will share with you a Telegram group specially floated for you investors, the investors from Gujarat. Please become a member of this Telegram group promoted by National Stock Exchange, where you will get a lot of things apart from these AMA webinars. We have online programs, we have offline programs. You can stay connected with our Investors Awareness Initiative through this Telegram group. My team will share you the links. If not, you can connect with them individually and take the Telegram group lead. This is all from now. Thank you very much. And I look forward to a very fruitful and knowledgeable session with Kushal today. Thank you. Kushal, the stage is all yours.
Good evening, everyone. Before beginning with the topic, asset allocation key for individuals' sustainable financial growth, I would like to at least outline what is the expected outcome which I expect in each one of you after this seminar. I am just trying to provide an additional knowledge that helps you to go back home and think on your investment style as well as investment allocation that you have made till date. This is what a simple expected outcome which I am targeting here. There is nothing like any product or any marketing front or any theoretical front which I am trying to put it across here. So this is the disclaimer. I can, if you just want to go through once. That is why I have divided the flow for today's seminar into 3 parts. One is the theory, which obviously everyone knows, but I am sure some people I am seeing here in the room are many youngsters and maybe fresh college graduates. So for them, a little bit of beginner's knowledge will be required, and then I can take you to the practical implementation of the asset allocation. And what stops each one of you, I can 100% tell that each one of you 100% are ગુજરાતીમાં કહે ને કે શિકાર છો આ biasesના. That is what is stopping you from your actual asset allocation. So that is what I have taken as a third small part. Now asset allocation looks like a very broad word. જ્યારે સાંભળીએ ત્યારે it's a very very wider word. પણ as I always tell Ashish bhai, when he speaks, I always gain something out of it. On the health front, if I have to give you an example, how many people has been to the gym in last 2, 3, 4, 5 years over here? Any gym, latest gym. તમે જીમમાં જાઓ ને આજકાલ તો તમારું સૌથી પહેલાં BMI કરાવે છે. This is the new trend from past 5-7 years if I am not wrong, at least from when I have started going to the gym. So એ BMIમાં પહેલાં તો આપણે શું હતું, કોઈ પણ ડાયટિશિયનને ત્યાં જે એક જીમમાં જઈએ ને તો વજનના કાંટા પર ઊભા રહીને એક્સરસાઇઝ કરાવી દે, ક્યાં તો ડાયટ આપી દે. Now, from last 5-7 years, they have started doing BMI. Technology evolves. Obviously, they also want to do something new. That BMI actual gives you an output of your muscle, your fat in the body, etc., apart from the weight. Now, this is what asset allocation actually means when you come to the market. I cannot say country, but I have seen in Ahmedabad, કે ઇટ ઇઝ અ વેરી ફેમસ થિંગ કે કોઈ પણ તમારો એડવાઇઝર હશે, મેજોરિટી, આઈ કેનોટ સે 100%, પણ કોઈ પણ તમારો એડવાઇઝર હશે પ્રોડક્ટ લઈને જ આવશે. એને નથી ખબર તમને આની જરૂર છે કે નહીં. એણે તમારું વજન કર્યું જ નથી, એણે ના તમારું BMI કર્યું છે, એણે સીધી તમને પ્રોડક્ટ આપીને જતા રહ્યા. સો અસેટ અલોકેશન ઇઝ એકચ્યુઅલી સમથિંગ વિચ યુ હેવ ટુ ડુ બિફોર ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ, એન્ડ દેટ ઇઝ વોટ આઈ એમ ગોઈંગ ટુ ટ્રાય ટુ એક્સપ્લેન યુ ટુડે. આ આખા વાઇડર વર્ડનો મિનિંગ આટલો જ છે કે તમે જે પણ વસ્તુ કરો છો એની પહેલાં સમજી લો કે શું કરો છો અને એનો આખો કોન્સેપ્ટ સમજી લો, પછી એ પ્રોડક્ટમાં જાઓ એ તમને સુટેબલ છે કે નહીં. સો ધ ફ્લો ફોર ટુડે ઇઝ પાર્ટ 1 ઇઝ ધ થિયોરિટિકલ આસ્પેક્ટ ઓફ અસેટ અલોકેશન. Second is practical implementation. What do you do after you know asset allocation is? And third, as I said, some myths, individual biases and some mental blocks. Part 1. What is asset allocation? આપણને બધાને ખબર છે કે ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ ક્યાં ક્યાં થાય. તો અસેટ અલોકેશન ઇઝ સિમ્પલ કે તમારા પ્રમાણે તમારે કેટલું ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કઈ જગ્યાએ કરવું જોઈએ. That is what simple asset allocation is. It is an investment strategy. It is not anything on the investment, it is not something on the investment product. It is before the investment product. So it just helps you to know that your asset allocation has to be up according to your requirement. That is what the entire idea of asset allocation is. So it just helps you referring to investing a certain percentage of your investable surplus in respective asset classes such as equity, gold, debt, real estate, everywhere. You just need to know તમારે ક્યાં કેટલું કરવાનું છે. Second, for the basic beginners, what are the actual asset classes where you can go and invest your money? There is direct equity markets. અમદાવાદમાં hardly anybody would not know what shares are. એને મ્યુચ્યુઅલ ફંડ નહીં ખબર હોય પણ શેર્સ તો ખબર જ હશે. એને એવું નહીં ખબર હોય કે રિલાયન્સનો બોન્ડ પણ આવે છે પણ એને નોર્મલ એફડી તો ખબર જ હોય. So you simply have the investment options which forms your asset classes, which is fixed deposits, private and government bonds, equity shares, provident funds, mutual funds, all these investment options formulate your asset class. So these are all the places where you can go and invest. Now this is one of the most important factor when what is actually influencing to take a decision કે તમારે આ asset class કે આ asset allocation માં invest કરવું જોઈએ કે નહીં, કે તમારે equity shares માં કરવું જોઈએ કે તમારે deposit માં કરવું જોઈએ. What is actually influencing you? તમે શેના કારણે એમાં ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરો છો હું એ કહેવા માંગુ છું. તમે કેમ એમાં કરો છો હું કહેવા નથી માંગતો. So that is what your asset allocation factors of influencing your asset allocation. So these all are the factors influencing your asset allocation which we will go in detail step by step. First is age. Now can I say that a 70-year-old person will think differently than a 30-year-old person? Both are earning, we are assuming. 70 years is on the age of retirement, while 30 years is has just begun to work in the industry 2-3 years. So age is one of the biggest factors which actually influence your investment decision. Of course, lesser the age, you have the higher capability to take risk. Because you have many different goals, you have a longer time to earn. That is what helps you to take risk. Maybe lesser responsibilities, you have your parents to support. While a 70-year person who is retiring, he might have to take care of his retirement. એને હવે કામ નથી કરવાનું, એની ઇન્કમ નહીં આવે, પણ એને ખાવાનું પીવાનું ફરવાનું તો ખરું ને. So that he would not be able to take that much risk obviously when he was at 30 and he could have taken. So lesser the age, your risk capacity will be higher. Inversely, higher the age, obviously your risk taking capacity will be lower. Second factor, income and expenses. How income and expenses actually influence your investment decision? એ વસ્તુ તો સાચી છે કે ઇન્કમ હશે તો જ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ થશે, એના વગર તો ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ થવાની નથી. કોઈ લોન લઈને તો ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કરશે નહીં. પણ your higher the income or higher the income growth, you know that you have been growing your net worth by 20-25% every year. કે તમારી જોબ છે, that is what is giving you a growth of 20-25% every year. So you have a stronger risk taking capacity કે I can take risk, I am growing at a good speed. But if I tell you કે તમારા 20% ગ્રોથની સામે તમારે ખર્ચો એટલો બધો વધે છે કે you want a iPhone also, you want a Mercedes also, you want to go business class to Switzerland also, which is outpacing your income, then automatically your risk taking goes lower. કારણ કે your expenses are so high that your income is not going to suffice. So you will not be able to take that much risk. So in a way, a higher income growth will help you to take more risk, but obviously with a calculated expense growth. So obviously higher income and lesser expense you can take good growth. But if you have a higher expense ratio compared to your income, then I don't think so you can even sustain your expenses. Forget investment in a risky proposition. So that is how your growth rate income is directly related to your investment decision to be a risk taker, and obviously the vice versa. Third factor, your assets. Now here comes an example of a person who is at 45-50 years. See, he has already a net worth of 10 crores. The house that he says, he has another 2 plots somewhere, he also has good amount of equity. So he already has good assets. Now he is still earning at a good pace. He would have obviously a higher risk taking capacity because he has everything planned in his life with his good investments and he would want to grow. Now vis-a-vis a person who is having less assets, who want to build up assets, he'll have to be a little bit more calculative than the former one. So the higher the assets, or even the good number of asset guy can take a concentrated risk. He can think about buying a single stock of 25-30% in his portfolio, or he can even think of going and investing in an illiquid thing because he has nothing from that investment to run his home or to take care of his any other day-to-day routine expenses. So a person with existing good number of assets will be able to take more risk. Now whenever I am talking about this all factors, these factors doesn't play role in isolation. ખાલી એજ વધારે છે એટલે એનું risk taking capacity ઘટી જાય એવું ના હોય. A person with higher age or an aged person having good number of assets, he will be able to take more risk. But say for example, we can take I am not sure if it's the right example, but say a government employee who has never ever taken any risk. He has been serving good as a salaried employee. He retires. Now he is worried about his pension. His pension is only going to take care of his home. At this age, he is not going to take higher risk. But if you say that a government employee having good assets and has good investments, he will be able to take a good asset allocation risk. So this all factors play role when they are put together. There is a different correlation among these factors to play. Now come to liabilities. If I say you have good EMIs going on, then obviously your investment capacity will go lesser. You have to serve your liabilities first and then you have to go for investment. You cannot directly jump to investments or taking risk. Considering હું આમાંથી કમાઈશ તો હું liability જલ્દી ભરી દઈશ. What if you make a loss? You make a loss over here and you also are not able to pay your liabilities. So these all things have to be considered and properly evaluated before deciding your asset allocation. The second last topic over here is time horizon. A person who has just started employment at 30, 31, 32 and he has another 30, 40 years in his life to earn, he has a longer time horizon. And we all know that equities have outperformed every asset class in the longer run. But in the shorter run, there is always a risk. So a longer time horizon, a person with investing with a longer term time horizon can take good amount of risk. So જેટલો તમારો ટાઈમ હોરાઇઝન લાંબો એટલો તમે ઇઝીલી રિસ્ક વધારે લઈ શકશો કારણ કે દેર કુડ આપણે અત્યાર સુધી જોઈએ છે કે વોલેટિલિટી શોર્ટ ટર્મમાં રહે છે, લોંગ ટર્મમાં ફેઝ આઉટ થઈ જાય છે. ઓલ્સો લોંગર ટાઈમ હોરાઇઝન એટલે તમારી કમાવાની શક્તિ હજી ઘણી બાકી છે, તો તમને કોઈ નુકસાન પણ આવે તો તમે ઓટોમેટિકલી એને કવર અપ કરી શકશો ક્યાં તો શીખીને આગળ વધી શકશો. સો યોર ટાઈમ લોંગર ટાઈમ હોરાઇઝનને ડાયરેક્ટ કોરિલેશન છે તમારા ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ ડિસિઝન જોડે. લાસ્ટલી એન્ડ ધ મોસ્ટ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ થિંગ, ગમે તેટલા રૂપિયા હોય કે ગમે તેટલી રિસ્ક ટેકિંગ કેપેસિટી હોય, તમારે રિસ્ક લેવું છે કે નહીં એ તો તમને જ ખબર છે. હું હમણાં હર્ષિલભાઈ જોડે વાત કરતો હતો નીચે, તો મેં એમને કીધું કે એકો એક માણસ માર્કેટમાં કમાવા માટે જ આવે છે. વાય આઈ એમ સેઇંગ માર્કેટ બિકોઝ દેટ ઇઝ અ રિસ્કીયર ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ ક્લાસ. FD કે debt is not going to be a riskier investment class. તો દરેક માણસ માર્કેટમાં કમાવા માટે જ આવે છે, પણ નુકસાન થાય છે કે આ એક કોવિડ જેવો ફોલ આવ્યો કે સમજો એને અદાણીમાં નાખેલા તો અને આ ફોલ આવ્યો તો is he able to cope up with that fall? Is his mental stability okay to cope up with this loss or to hold out for the loss? That is more important. Anything can happen to the market. The company that you have invested, kadach, that goes into losses. No one knows. So willingness to take risk, that determines actually whether above all the factors, કે તમારે રિસ્ક લેવું છે અને એવા ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટમાં જવું છે કે જે તમને વોલેટાઇલ આપશે, કે એ વસ્તુ ઇલિક્વિડ છે પણ લોંગર ટર્મમાં તમને સારું રિટર્ન આપશે. સો ધીસ ઇઝ વોટ actually forms your or factors that influence your asset allocation. Before we move to the exercise 1, I have just one question over here. આમાંથી કેટલા લોકો છે જેનું કોન્સન્ટ્રેટેડ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ છે, 90% 100% એફડીમાં જ છે કે 90% 100% સ્ટોક્સમાં જ છે, એવા એકે પણ લોકો છે? ઓકે, there is one. I appreciate your answer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now a question to you before I give the exercise. What is this? Have you ever seen કે તમે 9 બેટ્સમેન ને 2 બોલરથી રમી શકો, કે 9 બોલર ને 2 બેટ્સમેનથી રમી શકો? Is it possible every time or any time rather? Can you win the World Cup? Or you need to have a balanced team? આપણને બધાને જ ખબર છે, કદાચ આપણે એક મેચ હારીશું ને તો બધાના ઘરે ખબર હશે કોની શું ભૂલ હતી ને કોણે શું કરવાનું હતું મેચમાં. તો તમે જ્યારે 9 બેટ્સમેનને 2 બોલરથી નથી રમી શકતા, યુ નીડ અ ડાયવર્સિફાઈડ ટીમ. યુ નીડ કન્સિસ્ટન્ટ પ્લેયર પણ જોઈએ છે, હાર્ડ હિટર પણ જોઈએ છે, ઓલરાઉન્ડર પણ જોઈએ છે, સ્પિનર ને મીડિયમ પેસર પણ જોઈએ છે. તો તમે તમારા ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટમાં એક જ જગ્યાએ કઈ રીતના કરી શકો? ઇટ કેનોટ આઉટ પરફોર્મ. કમિંગ બેક ટુ ધીસ સ્લાઇડ, 100% ઇન ફિક્સ્ડ ડિપોઝિટ્સ, તો એ તમને ઇન્ફ્લેશનનું જ રિટર્ન નહીં આપે. 100% ઇન સ્ટોક્સ ઓર 100% ઇન સ્મોલ કેપ સ્કીમ્સ ઓર એની અધર ઇક્વિટી સ્કીમ્સ, એ તમને એટલું બધું વોલેટાઇલ બનાવી દેશે કે ઘટી જશે, તમે ઉપાડ લેશો. સો ધેટ ઇઝ one of the biggest mistake what people do. Now can we have the paper distributed please? I have one sheet of paper for all of you. I want you all to pen down તમારું કરંટ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કયા અસેટ ક્લાસમાં કેટલું છે. મારે નથી જાણવું, હું તમારા માટે જ કરાવું છું અને તમે ઘરે લઈને જજો આનું. મારે આ જોવું પણ નથી, એટલે સાચું લખો ખોટું લખો દેટ ઇઝ ફોર up to your best interest. But please note it down, that can help you when you go back home. I'll give you 5 minutes to think over it. તમારા હેલ્પ માટે આઈ હેવ ઓલરેડી ગિવન યુ ધી બેઝિક ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ ક્લાસ. આઈ એમ નોટ શ્યોર મેં પ્રોવિડન્ટ ફંડ અલગથી લખ્યું છે, પણ ઇફ ઇટ ઇઝ નોટ દેર યુ કેન પુટ ઇટ ઇન ફિક્સ્ડ ડિપોઝિટ્સ ઓર ડેટ, વેર એવર યુ વોન્ટ ટુ. પણ આઈ એમ શ્યોર કે આમાંથી અડધા લોકોએ તો આ પ્રેક્ટિસ નહીં જ કરી હોય. તમને ફાઇનાન્શિયલ એડવાઇઝરે કીધું હશે ને તો પણ નહીં કરી હોય. Have we given all the papers? Can we have one for Harshal bhai, please? Madam, can we have one for Harshal bhai, please? Even if you are beginner, તમારે જેટલું હોય તમે એટલું લખી શકો. There is no, this is for you only. Can we move ahead? Okay. This is a kind of a sample diversified asset allocation. Say 25% in fixed deposits, 10% in private bonds, 45% in equities and mutual funds, 10% in real estate and 10% in gold. Of a individual deciding, taking his own decisions. But this is how a diversified one looks. No concentration at a single place. No overly diversified, but a simple normal one. Moving on, we already have done a basic thing of what asset allocation is and what is your asset allocation. Now, I want all of you to answer one thing. What after investing as per asset allocation? તમને જે desired return જે મળતું રહેશે? Would it help you to get the best returns? Or your automatically returns will increase automatically? મેં યાર આટલું બધું સારું કર્યું, વિચાર્યું, મારે જે કરવું હતું એ પ્રમાણે કર્યું, તો મને હવે લાઈફ ટાઈમ એ રિટર્ન મળતા જ રહેવું પડે. એવું ના હોય. અમદાવાદમાં પહેલાં જેપનીઝ રેસ્ટોરન્ટ હતી જ નહીં ક્યારે. એ છેલ્લા 2 વર્ષમાં 4-5 થઈ ગઈ. There are many new technologies that have erupted. WhatsApp has evolved like anything. So there has been changes. તો તમારે તમારા asset allocation માં change તો કરવો જ પડશે. Else will become a old type asset allocation or a non-performing asset allocation. કે જે જૂનું ચાલતું આવ્યું છે. પહેલાં એવું હતું માર્કેટમાં કે ગણીને 10, 20, 25 સ્ક્રિપ્ટ હતી. મારા ફાધરને હું સાંભળું તો મને કે 91-92માં 10 કે 15 આઈટમ જ ચાલતી હતી. તો હવે તો 10-15ની જગ્યાએ કદાચ 1-2 મીંડા ઓર ઉમેરાઈ ગયા હશે. So if you don't change your asset allocation with time, then obviously your investment will die off. So this is not a one-time exercise. This exercise has to be repetitively done, maybe on your birthdays or at the end of the financial year, whenever you deem fit. But this is what leads to change in your asset allocation. These are some basic points that I have written. Say one is interest rate changes. આપણે છેલ્લા 1 વર્ષમાં બધું જ જોઈ લીધું. કોઈને હું પૂછીશ ઇન્ડિયાનો રેપો રેટ શું છે તો નહીં ખબર હોય, યુએસનો પાક્કો ખબર હશે. બટ દેટ ઇઝ હાઉ ઇટ ઇઝ ડન વિથ એવરી પર્સન. સો ધીસ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રેટ ચેન્જીસ હેવ ઇમ્પેક્ટેડ એવરીવેર ઓન યોર પોર્ટફોલિયો. ઘણા એવું હશે કે ગયા વર્ષે 5 વર્ષની એફડી કરાવી હશે, હવે બિચારા રડતા હશે. સો ધીસ ઓલ ચેન્જીસ ઇન ધીસ માર્કેટ્સ આર વેરી ડાયનામિક. સે ગ્લોબલાઇઝેશન. Last 1-2 વર્ષમાં the opportunities that have been created in investing US markets from here, that is not less than globalization. તમે કોવિડ વખતે હું વિચારેલું કે યુએસના માર્કેટમાં ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરીશ? Nobody had thought of. But these are the changes that keeps on happening. New opportunities. The government has come out with so many different schemes. Sovereign gold bond. That is what a last 3-4 year product. PLI link schemes for equity markets or the manufacturing sector. These all have been new opportunities that have been linked to your portfolio. Fourth, and one of the most important points, unusual returns. એવા રિટર્ન તમે જોયા જ નહોતા અને એવા મળ્યા છે. છેલ્લા 1 વર્ષ પહેલાં સુધી તો મળ્યા છે અને અત્યારે જ તમે રિટર્નને જુઓ તો તમને દુઃખ થાય છે કે આ બધું. અને એ વખતે તમે 1 વર્ષ પહેલાં તો બધી મૂડી કાઢીને ઇક્વિટી માર્કેટમાં નાખવા તૈયાર હતા, કારણ કે તમે રિટર્ન એવા જ જોયેલા. તમને એડવાઇઝર ના પડે, ના તમને ખબર ના પડે, મને કીધું છે ને. ધીસ ઇઝ વોટ ધી એટીટ્યુડ ઇઝ. સો એની અનયુઝ્યુઅલ થિંગ્સ હેપનિંગ અરાઉન્ડ યુ. વેન યુ હેવ કોવિડ, તમે બધું વાળી ચોળીને ટેન્શનમાં આવી જાઓ, કારણ કે ઓછું થાય છે. અને તમને જ્યારે એબનોર્મલી કોઈ વસ્તુ વધી જાય તો તમે ડરતા નથી. એવું તો કઈ રીતના ચાલે? દેર ઇઝ વન સિનોનિમ કે મને કોઈકે કીધેલું, કોઈ માણસે ક્યારે કશું ના કર્યું હોય ને અને એને લોટરી લાગે ને, વર્ષ 2 વર્ષ 3 વર્ષમાં એના રૂપિયા ગાયબ થઈ જાય. એને એ રૂપિયા ટકે જ નહીં. એ ક્યાં તો બીજી લોટરીમાં હારી જાય, ક્યાં તો એવી જગ્યાએ મૂકી આવે જાય નુકસાન થાય, કારણ કે એણે ક્યારે કોઈ વસ્તુ જોઈ જ નથી. પણ એ ના વિચારે કે મારી જોડે આ થઈ ગયું છે તો હવે મારે શીખવું જોઈએ. The biggest problem with the individuals is they don't ask question. They want to only take opinions and implement it as if કાલે જ માર્કેટમાં અપર સર્કિટ વાગી જવાની હોય. That is how we all deal. That is how we all deal in investments. And lastly, individual factors. So individual factors that affects your investment decisions or asset allocation changes. I got married 5 years ago, I have a kid now. Obviously my asset allocation will change. I was not married after, instead of 10 years, I got married in 5 years. મારા asset allocation બદલાઈ ગયા. તમારે ઘરમાં એવી કોઈક આપત્તિ આવી ગઈ કે you have to withdraw your investments and then obviously you have to change your asset allocation. There could be variety of individual specific factors. If you go back and think, so you would always find one such factor જે તમને લાગશે કે you had to make a change in your investment, આપણે કર્યું નહીં. આ કર્યું હોત તો કદાચ આ પ્રોબ્લેમ ના આવ્યો હોત. અને આપણને પ્રોબ્લેમ આવે ને પછી એ ફીલ થાય જ કે આ પહેલાં કરી દીધું હોત ને તો વાંધો ના આવ્યો હોત. બટ વી ડુ નોટ હેવ ધી હેબિટ ઓફ કન્ટિન્યુઅસલી લુકિંગ એટ ઇટ. ઇટ ડઝન્ટ મીન કે રોજ સવારે માર્કેટ જુઓ, પણ યુ હેવ ટુ ટેક રેગ્યુલર રિવ્યૂઝ ઓફ યોર સેલ્ફ એઝ વેલ એઝ યોર પોર્ટફોલિયો. સો ધીઝ આર by and large some of the factors that affect your asset allocation. Now this is what the key element of today's seminar is. I got you through the basic asset allocation, what kind of asset allocation you should make, but this does not derive you sustainable returns. You have to make tactical changes or modifications to your investments wherever you have made. Then it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean કે ખાલી ઇક્વિટી માર્કેટ્સમાં જ આ કરવું પડે, રિયલ એસ્ટેટમાં પણ કરવું પડે ને ગોલ્ડમાં પણ કરવું પડે. બટ ઇફ યુ ડુ નોટ મેક ચેન્જીસ ટુ યોર ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ અલોકેશન, then you cannot reach your goals or you cannot get a sustainable return. I agree to all the historical returns કે તમે 10 વર્ષ પહેલાં એસઆઈપી કરી હોત તો તમને આટલું રિટર્ન મળત. બટ એ કરી હોત તો ને, અને 10 વર્ષ ચલાવી કેટલા લોકોએ, કે 15 વર્ષ ચલાવી કેટલા લોકોએ, એ 4 વર્ષ પછી રિટર્ન ઓછું મળ્યું તો કાઢી લીધું. સો આઈ ડોન્ટ થિંક સો દેર આર વેરી લેસ પીપલ હુ વુડ હેવ ડન ધીસ કાઇન્ડ ઓફ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ્સ. આઈ નો ઇન્ફોસિસ કદાચ આઈપીઓના લીધા હોત તો અત્યારે કેટલા રૂપિયા હતા, આપણા બધા વોટ્સએપ પર આવે જ છે. થોડા વખત પહેલાં તો બીજા ગ્રુપનું આવતું હતું. હવે if you see that, if you do not make tactical changes whenever required, so that obviously affects your portfolio. And second is patience is in કોઈનામાં patience નથી. So that also has to be regularly evaluated. This is what I want to explain you. What is the role of a coach and a captain in an Indian cricket team? Can anyone explain me? I'm sure any youngster can do that. What is the role of a coach and a captain? Why? There are 11 good players. Everyone is playing nice. Everyone, this 11 are out of 120 crores. But they still need a captain. So you are close to the answer. One is a teacher and another is a leader. Correct? At least who can give guidance. Now what happens in a cricket team? અગર બોર્ડ પર સ્કોર 350 હોય અને છેલ્લી 10 ઓવરમાં 100 રન મારવાના હોય તો મિડલ ઓર્ડર બેટ્સમેન આવશે ઉપર કે નીચેનો હાર્ડ હિટર ઉપર આવશે? કરેક્ટ? દેટ ઇઝ વોટ અ સ્ટ્રેટેજી ચેન્જ. ના, મિડલ ઓર્ડરને મોકલી દીધો તો કદાચ 50 રન બધાને હારી ગયો હોત. પણ કેપ્ટન ટુક અ કોલ અને એને હાર્ડ હિટરને ઉપર લઈ ગયા બિકોઝ દે વોન્ટેડ ટુ વિન ધ મેચ. Similarly, have you all heard કે ભાઈ સ્પિનિંગ પિચ છે કે આ મીડિયમ પેસરની પિચ છે? તો આપણા 11 પ્લેયરની જગ્યાએ 15 પ્લેયર કેમ હોય છે? 4 પ્લેયર તો મેં આજ સુધી કોઈ મેચમાં નથી સાંભળ્યા કે જે ઇન્જર્ડ થયા હોય, કે 4 પ્લેયરને મેચ પહેલાં તાવ આવ્યો અને 4 પ્લેયર બદલવા પડે, એવું તો મેં નથી સાંભળ્યું આજ સુધી ક્યારે. There is always an additional spinner, there is always an additional pacer, there is always an additional all-rounder. That is because coach and the captain decides कि भाई this is a spinning pitch, we need an additional spinner in the team. So again a strategy change. At every level, you need a strategy to suit your portfolio. Or similarly, whatever the situation is. In a cricket team, they have a strategy. Similarly, I see cricket more, so I have given a cricket example. The same thing will be there in a hockey team or any team sport. An individual tennis would have its own individual player strategy, but no one wins without a strategy change. Whatever situation is, they adopt it. Similarly, in equity markets or in asset allocation, this comes a role of a financial advisor and investor. So you cannot go back and tell your advisor કે તમે મને કેમ ના કીધું. Okay, I am a distributor. I know one more person who is a distributor here. અમે લોકો ગમે તેટલું કહીશું કે તમે આ લો, તમે નહીં લો. ના સાહેબ, આ છેલ્લા 2 વર્ષમાં રિટર્ન નથી આપ્યું. પણ you would not listen to the distributor. Similarly, when we ask you to get out of the portfolio or when there is any suggestion to you to get out of the portfolio, so no, it is not advisable, આટલા સારા રિટર્ન છે. Now this is what an example that I would want to share with you in the recent last 4 years. What has actually happened and where investors could have made more money or could have saved money, if not made money, which is actually in front of you. Sorry. Can you see, is this visible to all of you? Yes. Okay. I want you to focus on these 3 numbers over here. This is a factual data, a historic factual data. Unless my executive has pinned the wrong numbers, it is a factual data. Last, and I have not taken a COVID era in this. So, not actually a COVID effect I have taken. I have avoided that. COVID came in March 2020. This I am showing it to you from January 2019, so 1 year before the COVID return. I cannot show the entire asset allocation, it's a wider subject, so I have just chosen to take one specific aspect of your investments where you could have done tactical changes. These funds have given almost 24% return, 24 to 26% return or 20 to 26% return in last 3 years till 2022. Okay. Is this kind of a normal return? Have you seen anywhere કે તમને 22% રિટર્ન મળ્યું? હું તો ધંધો બંધ કરી દઉં, 22% રિટર્ન વર્ષે મળતું હોય તો. It is not possible. But since everyone was getting this return, they never thought of booking profit. ના ના, આટલું સારું રિટર્ન મળે છે, રૂપિયા થોડી કઢાય. What happened in last, if I add 1 year to this portfolio, the same dates till day before yesterday, so 2-3 days back, the 25% came down to 19, what 22-23 odd came down to 16, and 19 came down to 12.5. So can I say that you lost 7% to 10% return? You are still making good money. There is no doubt about it. But can I say that you lost an opportunity to book profit? I would say yes. I agree to your point. So there's a next slide in this. This is in another third investment where your tactical asset allocation could have made a change, which is again in a multi-asset category which I have displayed, where this is also investing in equity, but maybe the percentage varies. There are different types of options available in the market. from 100% equity to 30% equity, 40% equity. To the sir's point, I would have just allocated some money to a lesser equity portfolio so that I would not lose if the market performs that much. I might gain little less than the portfolio, but I would have at least gained better than a normal return. Sometimes the decision can go wrong too. But if you are booking any sort of an abnormal return, then it is up to you how much risk that you need to take or you would want to take. This we are talking about a diversified portfolio. At least I have not seen any fund, or my distributor friend can suggest me, that who has continuously given me every year same kind of return. After a volatile session, it might have come back to over that return, but it is not possible that continuously one person would have got. The reason I am suggesting or showing you over here is, every one of us, when this 25% becomes 15%, we don't like, and when we have to think, okay, in lifetime 5 varashma pachu aayi jase, and if it doesn't come back, your trust factor from the markets or from investment goes off. That is what at least we have experienced in the industry. So there are sometimes tactical asset allocations necessary to your portfolio, maybe due to variety of reasons. Here what I am displaying is just one of the reasons, but the reasons play the combination of different reasons play role in your investment decisions. If, to the friend over there, if at least a profit booking would have done in this portfolio, no distributor or no advisor would take a call, or would, at least what I know, nobody would ask you to take entire money from a abnormal return scenario, because nobody can predict the market. But he would always suggest to trim your portfolio and put it in asset allocation where your actual asset stays there, the profit booking leads to a sustainable return. That is what a advisor or distributor is for. Nobody can time it, nobody can help you to say, okay, we will be consistent over here. But even a 20% exit and investing into an FD, forget all this. Investing into an FD would give you a notional loss or benefit of an affordable amount. તમે 20% કાઢીને 7%માં મૂકો અને પછી પણ માર્કેટ 20% વધે છે, તો તમે જે 100% રાખ્યા છે ને એમાં તો 20% મળે જ છે, અને આ 7%માં આ 20%માં જ તમારે 13%નું નુકસાન થયું છે. This will not be 1-2% on your portfolio, but you will be at least safer when the market goes against your call. એ વખતે એ ફીલ નહીં થાય કે તમારું રિટર્ન ઘટી ગયું. And that is why sometimes tactical asset allocations, because of different factors, are necessary. And this is what the result of tactical asset allocation is: an additional return by exiting or trimming the portfolio. Not always the case, but trimming helps on average return level. Even if you go wrong, then your trimming helps you, because you would have not lost that kind of money or an opportunity which you could have saved if the call would have gone otherwise. Lastly, the myths and mental blocks. આમાંથી કેટલા લોકોને આ વસ્તુ ખબર છે? ફર્સ્ટ ઇઝ લેઝીનેસ. મારો પોર્ટફોલિયો છે ને, મારે જોવો જ નથી, 10 વર્ષ 15 વર્ષ પછી જોઈશ, આમાં કશું ના થાય. That laziness of going or saying that I am over occupied with my own work, that is what laziness also I would term it as. People do not come out of their own work and take time for their own money. Once they invest, they completely forget it. That is what laziness we term as. That is one of the mental blocks. Second, overconfidence. ના આ તો થાય જ, મને કીધું છે ને કોઈ કે. ધીસ ઇઝ સેમ એઝ ન્યૂઝ ફ્લો. મને કીધું છે નિફ્ટી 20,000 આવવાની જ છે આ વર્ષે, કે મને કીધું છે કે આનો ભાવ આ થશે જ. That is what overconfidence or news flow that we fall in trap of, and we do not take calculative calls. See, I have no problem or I have no opposite suggestion to whatever decision a person is taking on this, but I have only problem to the calculative decision that a person takes. A person when he does, જ્યારે ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કરે ને ત્યારે બહુ કેલ્ક્યુલેટિવ હોય છે, જ્યારે ખર્ચા કરે ને ત્યારે બહુ કેલ્ક્યુલેટિવ હોય છે, પણ જ્યારે રિવ્યૂની વાત આવે ને ત્યારે કેલ્ક્યુલેટિવ નથી હોતો. That is where I feel that is overconfidence and news flow. Second last thing, return chasing. છેલ્લા 3 વર્ષ 5 વર્ષમાં આવ્યું છે ને તો આવશે જ. You have to see the new opportunities in the market. You have to see the new options available in the market and make changes in your portfolio. You cannot simply chase the returns. આટલું 3 વર્ષમાં મળ્યું તો there has to be something કે કંઈક ઇકોનોમીમાં ચેન્જીસ થયા તો કદાચ આ પરફોર્મ ના કરી શકે તો જે નથી ચાલ્યું એ પણ ચાલી શકે. And that is what happened in last 2 years. There are many investment options where even in scripts people would have not bought scripts જે 3 મહિનામાં ડબલ થઈ ગઈ. People would have never thought about it. Or so return chasing is sometimes harmful for your own portfolio. Lastly, informal conversations. Informal conversations are very much trending in Ahmedabad. I would term it as morning walks પર કે રાતના કોફી પીવા ગયા ત્યારે. This is what influences your decision in your investment. Your advisor does not, you do not allow your advisor to influence you. You allow those informal discussions to influence your decisions. પેલાની ભૂલ થઈ તો તમારી પણ ભૂલ થશે. And that is what actually leads to your investment decisions, which I feel it is wrong. This is it. I would wind up my presentation over here, open for any question and answers. સર, તમને જ્યારે એવું લાગે કે તમારો રિટર્ન્સ એબનોર્મલ આવ્યા છે, there is no indication in the market. There is only your own decision that can make it. હું તો એટલી જ વાત કરું છું કે તમારા ડિસિઝન્સને બાયસ ના રહેવા દો. I am not saying any other thing. તમારું ઓકે, વી કેન ટેક ઇટ અધર વે. અત્યારે પાસ્ટની તો વાત કરી શકે, ફ્યુચરની તો નથી ખબર પડતી, પણ એટલીસ્ટ એક્સપિરિયન્સ પર્સન આ છેલ્લા 1 વર્ષમાં જેટલા ઇન્ટરેસ્ટેડ વધ્યા, સાહેબ છેલ્લા 6 મહિના 8 મહિનામાં કેટલા લોકો મંદીની વાતો કરે છે. તમારું રિટર્ન સારું હતું તોય તમે બુક કર્યું, તમે કેલ્ક્યુલેટિવ કોલ લીધો. યુ નેવર થોટ ઓફ એડજસ્ટિંગ યોર પોર્ટફોલિયો ઓર ડુઈંગ કેલ્ક્યુલેશન. આઈ એમ નોટ સી, કોઈ પણ વસ્તુમાંથી એક્ઝિટ થઈ જવાનો તો રસ્તો છે જ નહીં, કોઈ ભગવાન છે જ નહીં, 6 મહિનામાં બધું બદલાઈ જાય, પણ તમારા કેલ્ક્યુલેશન તો એવા હોવા જોઈએ કે દેટ હેલ્પ્સ યુ to protect you on both the sides. This is what we mean as adjustment to your asset allocation. Baki there is only experience and knowledge in the market that teaches you. Now it comes to your advisor.
It means તમે sustainable જ્યારે financial growth ની વાત કરો એમથી જો એટલે ક્યાંય sustainable મળે નહીં, પણ તે risk છે.
risk તો છે જ ને સર. સર, સસ્ટેનેબલ ગ્રોથ તો મળે જ છે, પણ એમાં પેશન્સ આપવી પડે છે. ઇટ ઇઝ ટ્રેક રેકોર્ડ સર. ઇટ ઇઝ પ્રૂવન. ઇટ ઇઝ પ્રૂવન.
ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ કરી લે પણ ટ્રેક રેકોર્ડ સચવાતો નથી. 5 વર્ષમાં 20% આવ્યા
તો હું એ જ તો કહું છું ને સર, રિટર્ન ચેઝિંગ. ધેટ્સ વેર ધી એડવાઇઝર પ્લેઝ યોર રોલ. યુ આર ચેઝિંગ રિટર્ન્સ. You are not actively involved in the market. Or appoint a good financial advisor whom you trust. હું એવું નથી કહેતો, હું એવું કહું છું કે તમને જે લાગે છે કે આ માણસ નોલેજેબલ છે, અને સાહેબ એકવારમાં ના મળે. આપણને ઘણી વખત એવું થાય છે કે આપણે ઘણા પ્રોફેશનલ્સમાં પણ 1, 2, 3 ઓપિનિયન લેવા પડે છે કે આપણે એક જગ્યાથી આપણને નથી ફાવતું એટલે આપણે બીજી જગ્યાએ જઈએ છીએ. પણ ધેટ ઇઝ વોટ વિલ હેલ્પ યુ ટુ અચીવ. દેર ઇઝ નો વેર ગેરંટી. તમે એફડી કરીને ગેરંટી લેશો તો દેટ ડઝન્ટ બીટ યોર ઇન્ફ્લેશન. અને સોરી, ધીસ ઇઝ એન અનએન્ડિંગ એક્સરસાઇઝ. તમારી એક સાયકલ ભૂલ થશે, બીજી સાયકલમાં તમે ભૂલ નહીં થવા દો. તમારો એક એન્ટ્રી રોંગ પોઈન્ટ થઈ ગયો જે તમને 3 વર્ષ રિટર્ન નથી આપતું, પણ 3 વર્ષમાં એ તો શીખી જશો કે હવે મારે શું કરવું જોઈએ આમાં ચેન્જીસ. હું તો ખાલી ચેન્જીસ કરવાની વાત કરું છું ફોર સસ્ટેનેબલ રિટર્ન.
To understand that when you say bonds, what are the platforms, what are the sources where a retail investor could participate? That is first question. Second is, as per you, the asset allocation for what we say real estate is 10%. So what are the sources for those 10% of investment for the age of the beginner investor, I mean for the youth?
So real estate goes on your amount of investment. It might not come down to a smaller investment size which mutual funds or equity markets or bonds can give you. So real estate comes at a later stage in allocation when you have decent amount of wealth to invest in office, house, land, etc., etc. This is what real estate comes at. Real estate has its own pros and cons. Return તો બધે જ મળે છે પણ ત્યાં liquidity નથી મળતી એટલી easily. When you have to exit it, then there is no platform where you can go and click a button like equity. So that takes time to exit. Similarly, when it comes to now answering your bonds question, bonds, your advisor will be able to get you invested in bonds. There are different types of bonds available in market. You can term that as bonds, you can term that as deposits. What I am trying to term it as bonds is fixed return or fixed income asset class. So there could be SBI bond which are available in the market. There are another government bonds available in the market. There is itself RBI bond available in the market. But all these majority bonds are over the counter. There is very less bonds available on the market platform. So it is not that much known in retail, but your distributor advisor will be able to help you with it. When you go for an asset allocation with him, coming back to my main slide, if you see this, my objective of this seminar, what does it see? To gain you some additional calculative knowledge and help you to ask some tough questions to your advisor. Achha, sorry. No problem. So the entire idea of this is to go and ask good questions to your advisor. कि मने आ नौती खबर हूँ कई रीतना करूँ. What is the knowledge session for? One minute. I didn't get your first question only. Can you come again, please? 1 minute. Take the mic now, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, a lot of factors in the international market influence our stock exchange, may it be BSC, NSC, however it is. So, when the
employment data comes out of US or there is some repo rate changes in the US, of course the market is affected in India as well because of the FIS that they invest in the country, right? Now, what are the key elements or data or the key exchanges in the world that one should really consider look at on a regular basis to understand how the world or market, money market is going to behave? That's my first question. Second, see every
Money market or normal markets?
sir,
Any.
ultimately investment market, अपने जो stock market में invest कर रहे हैं उसको लेके. My second question here would be, of course, there are sectors which would be affected due to certain news or certain things. Like, I'll just give you a small example. The replacement for steel today is plastics, if you look at it, because the kind of steel pipes that were being used.
Just 1 second. Let me answer the first question first. Your any data is not a single data that will help you to judge the effect on the markets. And many times, whatever the effect on the market that comes, not many times, most of the times, that come to the effect on the market that comes is as per the expected data. And so, for example, there was this RBI policy that we have every 2 quarters or every 1 quarter, I think so, okay. Now there is an expectation in the market. Okay, there could be a rate hike, there could be a 25 basis point rate hike, or there could be a rate decrease, okay, of 25 basis point. This is what the expectation. Now if you see the media sources, you will always find the expectation, okay. If something goes apart from the expectation, that is what will affect the market, because till then already it would have been priced in the market majority times. Second point, your market is influenced by the anticipation of the future, not the current moment. So the data that you have to see has to be many economic or variety of parameters of the economy. Market is ultimately the reflection of the economy. So you have to see many economic data like inflation, PMI index, manufacturing. There could be 10 and 20 other types of data. Say these days GST collection they are publicly giving. So all this, whatever the trend it is it a good trend? Is there a growth trend? Is it an average whatever the expectations are met or not? These all factors jointly affect the market in the medium to long term. See, short term it could be anything. Second, whatever you see in the market, there are companies that always, there is something that data suits only specific number of companies. It is not possible that gives all the companies the same impact on the medium term to longer term. For example, I'm not sure about the data, but for an example, our FMCG company would never be much affected by the economic changes, as in the interest rate changes won't much affect the FMCG company in the medium term. Short term there could be an impact, because whenever the market goes down, majority everything goes down. But there would always be an opportunity in the market that some stocks will come back much faster, and this you can gain only through experience.
So my second question here would be, if hypothetically someone has, let's say, 10 crore rupees and he wants to invest into the market today, what would be an ideal portfolio? When I say an ideal portfolio into the market, what I am referring to is sector wise, like you put 10% into the FMCG part, you put 20% in the real estate, 30% into the IT sector. What according to you would give out a balanced return, which is the risk is also balanced?
This has to be understood first.
So,
There is no portfolio or a sample portfolio that can be followed by any person. Majority of the portfolios in this room for each and every person will be different. So if you ask any distributor or advisor, I have X amount of money and I want to invest, where should I invest? If he is a sound advisor, he will never answer you, because he does not know you. Earlier in the meeting I just told Harshil bhai that a person can never go with a product until unless a person knows the investor or an advisor knows the investor. He has to formulate a portfolio for him after knowing his needs. You have 10 crores you want to pay somewhere after 1 year. How can one tell you an investment directly in it? The liability is there after 1 year. So every person, there is the portfolio or asset allocation or investment decision is person centric. There is no common portfolio for everyone.
I'm not asking for a common person. My question was very simple. Ideally, what should be it today? If you talk about a 30 or a 35-year-old person, if he has to invest, on a practical note, what should be it? So that it's a balanced approach. When you were explaining the slides, there were a lot of risks which were also attached to the investments. Like you could invest certain amount today, get a 25% return on it, take out 20% of it, maybe invest in a FD or a bond or something of that sort. Depends on the kind of investment that you're doing. That was my simple question, that what would be an ideal sector-wise investment?
There is no ideal portfolio. Honestly, there is no ideal portfolio. Yes, sir. Mike. Sir, after visiting 10 times to a doctor, can you take your medicine automatically? Yes. So that is possible, but it's not possible beyond that. Sir, once you have an experience in the market, you automatically will enjoy taking decisions with your advisor. Your advisor will not have to put efforts. You will just need an advisor to listen or approve. But that is what an experience can help you to reach. Yes.
Sir, do you have any software which can be used to calculate different asset returns?
So I think publicly it will be available. Historical returns, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what returns were there in gold for last 5 years?
No, not like that. Like you have a portfolio, 10% real estate, 10% equity, mutual fund. So is it easily possible to see the progress by way of compilation in a sort of
I think
program?
so 99% it will be available in the market.
You are not using any program for that?
I am not actually using the combination of the entire portfolio.
No, for any client. Suppose I am your client and I have 10 crore invested based on my age and whatever discussions we had. Then you will give me a report saying that this year you invested, next year this is the performance and this is the changes what you recommended, and based on the results you will recommend the things, right?
So let me just check at the office.
Okay.
If our software 99% it will give.
No, that will make sense only because we have a
You will
compiled
get it.
thing.
You will get it.
Right? And
You will
second thing is, do you consider foreign currency and foreign equities as part of asset? Like US dollar now appreciating a lot. So if somebody invests in currency or in fan stock or in Tesla or something like that, you don't consider.
At least at my personal say, I don't consider.
Thank you.
So I have a question.
Sorry. So to your question, majority of the asset classes will be available. But now to put some of the unknown asset classes like bonds, provident funds, where there are the FDs, now that is a fixed asset class. That might have to be calculated separately. But whatever asset classes are easily investable directly on a single platform, that is easily available. But let me just check it for you if that can be feeded in the software and given to you.
So my question is on commodities. For an investor who has a fairly diversified portfolio and he has invested in almost all asset classes, but now he wants to diversify a little bit, say 5 or 10% of his entire portfolio into commodities. So what is the safest approach would you recommend for such an investor? Because commodity exchanges are relatively new compared to
Sir,
share market and other forms of
commodity
investment.
exchanges actually provides you more of a platform to hedge, because it is a leveraged portfolio. You do not actually get it's a futures exchange.
Yeah, it's a futures.
So it's not actually a person will help you or guide you to take a leveraged position.
Okay.
Any distributor or advisor might help you to invest in the asset classes rather than taking you a leverage position on a commodity, because all the commodities are majority used to hedge it for a supplier or a manufacturer. People
See,
trading over it.
if I rephrase my question by giving a specific example, see, for example, lithium or any other new commodity which is found to be very useful in making batteries for electric vehicles, which is seen as a new future going forward. So if somebody wants to invest in lithium, then how should he go ahead with that?
But sir, that is not available as an investment product. You cannot get delivery. At least I have not seen anywhere where you can get the product at home and store. And that becomes a leverage thing, and the calculations completely differ because of the rollover cost, the contracts, the liquidity, and all those things comes into.
The challenges are there, supply chain and all. Okay.
So rather I would suggest you another option. If you really want to take a bet or take an investment call on it, there would be companies available in the market who would be manufacturing lithium ion batteries, or they might have plans to establish a lithium ion battery plant. Take a call on it.
That's what currently I am
So
doing. Okay.
sometimes there are many. I know a fund where they have a gold fund, and to my knowledge, I'm not sure, but to my knowledge, they have gold miners also in it. So automatically you get a double position on a commodity and the manufacturer. So all such options needs to be evaluated when you want to take an exposure to a specific commodity.
Okay, thank you. Another question is on mutual funds. See, my wealth advisor, for example, he told me some 3-4 years ago to invest in a particular mutual fund scheme when that NFO was floated by a particular AMC. Now that mutual fund is consistently making losses. So it's more than 3 years now. So today's its NAV is much lesser than what I had purchased. It's actually making losses. Now the fundamental rule of investment is you have to book profits when the prices are rising, and you have to stop loss when they are falling. Now when I asked my advisor that I want to get out of this mutual fund, because okay, you recommended me 3 years, 4 years ago, I invested, it's consistently making losses. He says, no, mutual fund means you have to wait for 7 years. And I am sure this must be the experience of many of the investors here.
There has to be a logical reasoning behind holding on to something for an advisor. So, for example, if I have to tell you, there were few funds in the market from 2016 to 20. They were at what, less than FD return. And they are all above target return right now. I'm not giving the numbers, but less than FD and above the normal equity market returns. So there was a logical reasoning why you should be holding on to that portfolio. Either it could be the fund manager's change or a fund manager expertise which is coming into play over right now, or there are some kind of stocks that have not performed in this period of years. So that might such are the logical reasons that might help you to earn returns or take a call, or rather than earning returns, take a call on it. But to your question, this is the answer.
Okay, I understood. Last question is on the mutual funds who have their schemes, which is investing in stocks listed in maybe New York Stock Exchange or the other stock exchanges. Now, I think SEBI puts a control over this. Or I think today there are no funds, which you can use to invest in foreign equities. So what should be the approach, when, if we want to
What
do?
you're talking is, I think so, I think so that is RBI Forex policy or I think so it's RBI Forex policy, which has stopped investing or vachche band thayelun, then it again started, right?
Fund of funds.
Still right now, okay, so in a specific period that was not available, then they opened up again. Even in some schemes that had an exposure to overseas stocks, okay, they were not allowed to buy those additional stocks when they had actually fallen down in this last 1 year because of that mandate, which I think so that is some regulator level mandate which has come for everyone.
My question actually comes out from the fact that if you invest in fund of funds who is investing in foreign equities, then you automatically get benefit of the appreciation of dollars.
Currency, correct.
Currency.
You are
because
right.
Some 10 years
You are
ago
right.
dollar was 42 rupees, today it is
Absolutely.
82.
Absolutely.
So there is an automatic upward growth.
You
So
are
the
right.
gentleman asked that question, that how to get benefit of foreign currency and all that. This is the only approach.
see-
So what is your general approach? How, suppose I want to diversify and put some of
in
my
last
money into
couple
this.
of years, it is seen that everyone has included little bit of foreign stocks in their portfolio. It has a general, there are two reasons to it. One, easy access for the investment option, which is fund of funds available in the market. Second, also the returns. Last year, I am not sure how many would have invested, but that was a general trend in the market. But that is even good that's a good decision to have some kind of foreign exposure if you are accustomed or if you can accept that kind of a risk. Baki, I to always say opportunity yahan bahut hai.
Why I'm saying, because there are known companies like Google, Facebook.
But what
or-
happens, and let me tell you one more thing. It is not only specific index. You get many other indexes.
True.
So there is one of the fund schemes which has world market exposure, as in different country exposure in it. So there are different kind of foreign exposures which you can bifurcate and have some exposure in your portfolio, but that cannot be only for the currency per se.
Thank you.
That market has to also be taken into calculation.
Thank you very
That
much.
knowledge is limited right now.
I know. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we'll finish over here. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kushal bhai. You explained the very important topic in a very lucid way. તમારા જે general examples થી તમે જે explain કર્યું, cricket team વાળું અને BMI weightage વાળું, that really helps us to grasp the concept very easily. Today's punchline is going to be that હવે અમે જ્યારે wealth expert ને approach કરશું, તો we will definitely not with the objective of chasing return, right? It will be with maximizing our wealth. That should be our objective. And the way you clarified કે ભાઈ જેમ આપણે બીજી બધી સર્વિસીસ માટે કે હેલ્થના કે કન્સેપ્ટ્સ માટે આપણે એક્સપર્ટ્સને અપ્રોચ કરીએ છીએ, ડૉક્ટર્સ હોય, આર્કિટેક્ટ્સ હોય, સ્પેશિયલાઇઝેશન ઓફ ડૉક્ટર્સ, રાઇટ? In the same way, we'll approach wealth experts also. We won't be reluctant in that, right? So, thank you everyone for attending this session. And you have a feedback form at your seat, everyone. Please fill it up and just let us reach that. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.